What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at Mrs. Foley's baby boy, Mick Foley Hall of Fame. I was very happy to receive Mick Foley Hall of Fame. I really didn't expect too much out of it, but I wound up, obviously, as you can see, getting his silver gear, which does allow moves that generate Juggernaut gems will create 3 more Juggernaut gems. I wish I had his gold gear as well for the all color move start with 4 more move points. That would be helpful. But I don't, but I will take the Juggernauts as they may. I have done 2 builds with Mick Foley, and only one of those builds I super appreciated. I love the damage that he outputs, but today's video, we are doing a deep dive into Mick Foley Hall of Fame. 1, because I haven't done it myself, and 2, because I want to go on that journey together with you guys. So we're going to look at the moves starting out. This is one of the builds I had for a feud that the red gems? I can't remember why I set this up like this. I think it was a trainer conflict or something. Either way, we have the Tree of Woe double axe. We're going to deal 191,000 damage and make 9 random gems into 3 turn Juggernaut gems. I don't know why I said color turn. With our gear, we're going to be making 12. That will deal 37,619 damage for every red gem on every countdown turn and increase your purple MP by 1 at the end of the countdown, which is lovely because that goes into the love handle, which is our color submission. Choose 8 gems to make into red submission gems and do 205,000 damage for 3 turns while submission gems are on the gem board. Remaining submission gems turn into reinforced gems. Not bad, not bad. Our Sweet Chin music is a 1 MP destruction of a freaking move. It's going to deal 102,000 damage and decrease your Juggernaut gem timers by 2. All Juggernaut gem effects will trigger when the timer is reduced. The hardcore is where this becomes stupid. If opponent's style is aggressive, deal 102,000 damage and deal 1.9 million bleed damage to your opponent for 2 turns. The fact that they made this move for only against aggressive types is genius. If that was for hardcore mode being, acro or something stupid where it could trigger on basically anything, that is 2 million. Come on. That's Zombie Bianca type strength on a 1 MP move. Get out of here with your nonsense. I really wish this is for everything, but in my opinion, it's super balanced. It makes a lot of sense, but it also makes you strategize more. As a player, a Mick Foley player myself, anytime I use him in a feud, I always make sure to figure out who the aggressive cards are. I still cannot commit them to memory as much as I'd like to. I simply can't. I don't have enough space up here for that. I do know Ghostbuster Cena is one of them because it is so funny watching him go down in just a flame. It's hilarious. Either way, these are the moves these are the trainers we're going to be going with today. We're going to be going with Trick Xavier, and then we are going to be throwing on Tech Sammy. The reason for this is we're going to be doing 421,000 damage for 3 turns. 1.2 million damage off the rip really is not a bad problem, especially with the fact that we might be hitting the Sweet Chin music first. Who knows? This right here is solely based on however many red gems are on the initial board. The reason I like going down this route is I can hit the Tree of Woe. If I don't have an aggressive style opponent with me, I don't have to worry about the Sweet Chin music. I can hit it if I want to, but really, it's pick or choose. If there's a bunch of red gems on the board, I'm going to hit it. If there's not that many red gems on the board, I'm just going to leave it alone and go straight for the love handle. Because what I'm going to wind up doing is we're choosing 8 gems to make into red submission gems. When they're done, they turn into reinforced. We already read that, Jeffrey. Our color submission being red gems, we can scatter these out a little bit. We can do a little bit of fun. We're not looking for any sort of recycle here. We're looking for board presence. So if there's, say, 2 red gems on the board, we don't have to match any of these. We just scatter them around to make sure that there is no possible way to match them. So that way, when our next turn hits, this is triggering once to hit all those red gems that are out on the board. Our Sweet Chin music is going to hit or decrease it down twice, which is going to do, again, more damage with the red gems. but it's also going to be charging our love handle on our Tree of Woe again. It recycles itself off the Tree of Woe. The fact that there's going to be 12 of these gems on the board, it's common sense right there. It's all going to recharge on its own. I don't know how else to go from there. In regards to our coaches, you can do whatever you choose to do here. You can always go with Nikki. I like Nikki because there's no extra turns. You can go with High Chief if you want that extra turn. You can go with King Woods, which is what I like to go for the increased bleed damage, just in case it's there. He is a just in case button. Are there going to be matches where he doesn't get used? Obviously. But sometimes sometimes you pick on a card that you don't think is aggressive, and all of a sudden you start in game and it's all flickery. So you know you've won out. So this is what I go with this one. To be honest, it's a lot more fun for me with this regards. This moveset. Oh, and now I remember why I chose this moveset first. This moveset, in my humble opinion, did the most damage. The next moveset I'm going to show you is one that does a considerable amount of damage. For some reason, it's just not clicking properly with me. Now, if you don't want to go down this route, this is something else that you can do. I do not recommend this as much. That wasn't that one. It's this one. I don't recommend doing too much with this. I mean, you can do what you want with it. Do it however way you feel. I just don't like the heal gems. I understand their placement. You know what? Let's go into the match. We're just going to see what happens. Screw it. I'm not going to sit here and just bleed your guys' ears to death. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch off King Woods here. We'll go and do the Juggernaut decrease here in a second. I already know what that one does. I already know you're going to be happy with it. So we're just going to give this one a shot and see what comes of it. I'm going to go with Logan Paul, actually, for this, because now it's going to be doing 878,000. So we're just going to go Submission City here. If you run this build this way, the only card I can tell you not to run this against 150% is the new Striker Bray. Do not run this against him. You will lose every single freaking time. Kid you not. It's just how the game works now. With him having a move that actually breaks out of submission, the kick out, it's not worth it. You're going to be losing a lot more than you gain. I don't like the fact that we're going to be adding an extra move, but one way, or extra turn, but one way or another, it's going to happen. So let's go in against LWO Eddie here as our favorite little punching bag. Sorry, I'm a little over the board with Mick. Mick is just so much fun. There's so much to do with Mick. And the thing that obviously I like the most about Mick is the fact that they made his gear be an individual face of full. You have Dude Love, you have Mick, you have Mankind. I believe those are the three. And it's just so nice. I love every second of it. It's so good. Now let's see what damage comes of these. He's already down 4, so we're golden grams there. I should have matched those up. That's my fault. I'm silly. Where's my match? I'm just a silly panda. You can tell I haven't ran this one properly ever in my life. He's done. There's no way of coming back from this. We should have matched up for the red submission. That's my fault. I feel kind of silly. Sometimes even veterans make mistakes. So we're just going to match those 3 right there. You can run it the way I just ran it. Clearly it didn't hurt us very much. But against cards that are a lot better than LWO Eddie, clearly there's going to be problems. So he's going to do that. That's going to kill him off. That's going to recharge our submission. We're just going to go in with a submission. I didn't even see the point of using the other submission, to be honest. Even with it being a viable option, I really didn't see it being an option. It would have done the most damage, though. And since it's 800,000, it would have done 8, 16, 24, 32. Would have done 3.2 million damage. He was going to die one way or another anyways. Oh, well. So that's something. I don't know. I just don't like that submission. I just don't. He is a triple submission card. I mean, you have Love Handle, you have Mandible Claw, and then Mr. Sacco. You have a submission for each one of his personalities. So, yeah, there's that. Let's try the faster one. This I feel does a lot more work. One of these days I'm going to do videos properly and have everything the way it should be. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gems on the board. We're going to keep those 6 gems on the board, and we're going to wind up smacking them around a little bit for a little sweet chin music. 14 million. Oh, look at it drop. Ah, down to 9. That's beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. We're gonna put our red gem or red submissions on our other red gems to try and keep them viable. He might wind up breaking a couple, which is the general consensus a lot of the times. Yeah, he broke quite a bit of them, but we did get some replaced, so that's good. All right, so now he's sitting at 6 million life or 6 million health. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the board. Let's see what 12 of these suckers do with 10 red gems on the board. What is our damage? We're at 6 million. And he no longer has any health. 2 turns. That's what this took. Took 2 turns. Now I'm just going to lay these out like a good boy. Put him there. He's done. I didn't even have to break the 6. I just kind of did it off of muscle memory. Muzzle top. He's over. He's done. He hit the ground. I appreciate this moveset far more than I really should. I love the fact of what it does. Now, I have not tested this in a perk system where red gems do 200% more damage. I really do not think that this would be affected by the gem damage increase from the perks, strictly because it comes from a Juggernaut gem. So, kind of test that out for yourself if you have Mick and that just happens to be a perk. That's entirely up to you. It's your prerogative. All right, we are going to go with that and this. Knock it off. Okay, we're going to be going with the Pulling Pile Driver. We're going to deal 190,000 damage and increase our red MP by 5. Ironically, Pulling Pile Driver is a 6 cost. Coincidence? Yes. And our two-handed Bulldog. We're going to deal 177,000 damage and make 4 random gems into 2-turn Juggernaut gems. That will increase our damage, our red gem damage, by 10%. Is it only 10%? It's only 10% for 1 turn on every countdown and make 4 random gems into red gems at the end of the countdown. Again, we have the gear, so we're going to be having 7 random gems out there, which increases our gem damage by 70%. Yay! Excitement on a stick. I think Striker Drew, or I think it's Striker Goldberg. I think Striker Goldberg gives another Juggernaut gem. If you have him, I don't. If you have him, I don't. But if you do, great. But here's the fun part about this. The Pulling Pile Driver gives red MP by 5. Our two-handed Bulldog is a 5 cost. You know what that means? That means we don't have to worry about it being only 7. We can make 14. We can do 140% more. If you don't even have his gear, that's 80% more. It's beautiful. Beautiful. And since it's 2-turn, our sweet chin music is going to kill him both times. So we're going to fill up the board with red gems. We're going to go kaboom and watch the whole thing go down in flames. Mazel tov. I cannot wait for a boss that is red gem damage is increased because this is going to destroy shit. Very excited. Very excited. All right. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to go here. You can use Piper Niven if you choose to. You don't have to, but you can. I choose to go with Nikki ASH, Tech Stacy, and Santa Hogan. The reason I choose to go with Santa Hogan is 5 cost, 6 cost. 4, 5. Already ready, plus the first one, Pulling Pile Driver works. We're increasing the red gem damage across the board. I did not show you my belt, so I'm going to now. It is nothing to write home to mom about. I do not like this belt, and ow, I hope for something better in the future. Do I have something? I don't. One of these days, I'm actually just whacked my elbow against my printer, and that hurt. Damn. Reorganizing an office. Sometimes you forget shit. Either way, he has only Fury 1, so he's not going to do nearly as much damage as he needs to, because, well, I kind of threw his belt together super quick. And as you can tell, I don't have very many metal parts. That's the word. I don't have very many metal parts. But either way, still going to do some damage. Let's have some fun here. If that was 100, if it was 130%, 110%, I don't care. If it was 100%, it'd be so much better. I regret my belt choices. Okay, so we're going to hit the two-handed Bulldog first. That's going to scatter him. Boop, 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 boop. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are going to hit the Pulling Pile Driver. Boop. That's going to refill that again. And obviously, we're coming up 1 short. which is fine. We only want to do this twice. We don't want to get greedy. Greedy people wind up in the hospital. Let's go and knock him out. Boom. Increase, 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 increase. Blow up the board. Woo! 6.6 million damage with only Fury 1 on there. That could easily be 10 or 12. Easily. But since I'm special and constantly forget to grind for metal parts, we're only seeing the bottom of the barrel here. However, there are people out there right now that do not have Furies or Fury 2. They only have Fury 1. So now you get to see what your Mick can do if he's sitting on the shelf gathering dust, which he shouldn't be. You do not disrespect the Mick Foley. He is our hardcore king for a freaking reason. All right, we're going to hit it again. This is turn 2. Boop. Face down. And he's not kicking out because it's LWO Eddie. LWO Eddie can't hold shit. Go and drop you down. So the way I would use Mick in these regards with this belt setup and everything else like this, he would definitely be my 6-star bronze sweeper in a feud. If he had full Fury 2 on there, a better belt, then he would be maining against 6-star silvers every single day. So let's see. I think there's probably a move that I forgot from Mick. Those are the 2 moves. I know I said at the beginning of the video I'm going to do a deep dive. But there's really no reason to, because those two movesets speak alone for themselves. Oh, double arm DDT is the one thing we were missing. Let's give this a shot, actually. This is triple yellow. Interesting. Okay, so this is the triple yellow. I have not looked at this. And right now, I am fascinated. Okay, so we have Mr. Sacco. It's our submission. We're going to deal 201,000 damage for 3 turns. The remaining submission gems turn into silence gems. Interesting. We're going to do the double arm DDT, which we're going to make 8 gems into 2-turn Juggernaut gems. That will make 2 random silence gems into multiplied gem strengths of 10 on every countdown and destroy 2 random multiplied gems at the end of the countdown. Then our sweet chin music. I am curious. I didn't even see this. So I guess this is a deep dive because I didn't notice that before. That is insane. All right, let's see what this does. Oh, crap. No, wrong trainers. No, quit. Crap. I was so fascinated by the move, I didn't even put on the trainers. Stupid. Oh, God. How could I have been so blind? I was blinded by the excitement of a new move that might very well bend my perspective of 2 move sets to 3. God, I'm just not. I am, nope. That's just not, no. This is where I'm at mentally, people. It has been a long, long, long day. Come on, where the hell are you? This is how long of a day it's been. I don't know where half my trainers are. All right. And I know Tatanka is 6-star. Tatanka. There you go. All right. So we have multiplied gems on the board. We're going to keep Santa Hogan on here, because if you're lucky enough to have Santa Hogan at trainer cap, that's going to do this one wonders. Now, I'm curious. Do I do submission damage, or do I throw on Memrock? I'm going to go with damage, because I'm feeling it. For some reason, I am feeling it. We're going to throw on Drew here, doing 500,000. So we're going to do 2 million damage just off this submission alone. So that's kind of nice. All right, let's see what sort of shenanigans come from this, because I'm curious. We're not going to hit the Juggernaut gems first. We're going to go with the 38. The 38, if you do the Juggernaut gems first and then you do the submission, you're ultimately shooting yourself in the foot. And the reason I say this is because, 1, it's a fact, and 2, the submission gems will cover up your Juggernauts. So there's really no point in doing those. Let's see what this does. I'm curious. We're at 13 million health now. Wow. 4.8, which would actually be a lot more if we had Fury 2. 4.8. Oh, and also it's going to be board dependent. That's kind of a no-brainer now that I'm thinking about this a little bit more clearly. This is going to be board dependent. We're going to run this one more time, but we're going to take off Drew. We're going to try and make it as minimal amount of turns as possible and see if maybe the board destruction actually holds a little bit more sway. We did get a little unlucky with the fact that they got that LWO Eddie got a skip turn at the very beginning of this fight, or of that submission. So that kind of sucks. But, oh, and you got rid of all my yellow gems. You are a dick, sir. Making me earn it. Making me earn it. Do these do any sort of damage when they pop? Nope. Another thing to consider is, since the 1 MP move is 1 MP and it does massive amounts of bleed, then if you're against an aggressive, by all means, hit that bleed before you hit the submission. That actually went relatively well. The problem came with the recycle after he got rid of all the yellow gems. Literally destroyed every single yellow gem on that back line. But that's okay. So we're going to go here. We're going to switch him over to Memrock. Just for funsies. Oh, I don't think it'll work. We're going to try it. Because it's grayed out doesn't mean it won't work. I've seen it work. I've seen them be grayed out and still work. There's actually quite a few cards that is a problem with right now. Okay. It's still only 10, but we're going to double check once Memrock pops. Hopefully we don't lose out on all of these yellows that are still on the freaking board. Wow. Okay, cool. So we still have plenty. The Silence Gem did play effect. Let's test this. Go here. If Memrock doesn't work, then Memrock doesn't work, but at least we tested the theory. He works. We're good. 11s across the board, hitting for 5.8. Really would be a lot higher if it was Fury 2. There's no doubt in my mind that would be a lot higher. So either way, the thing that we've found out most right now is all 3 builds for Mick Foley have been, 2-turn, 3-turn max. We had our submission, pop, submission, pop. So this is 4 turns. Doing 5.1. He's not kicking out, so we're fine. But I guess that one's a balance. Okay, so the way I would rank these, ultimately I would rank these in the way that I showed you. Ultimately I would put it as double purple and the yellow, or double purple and Sweet Chin Music, double red and Sweet Chin Music, or triple yellow. Obviously, the Sweet Chin Music plays a huge role here because of the Juggernauts. There's 1, 2, 3 moves that do Juggernauts. There's 3 moves that it all synergizes one way or another. It's Jugs and submission, Jugs and submission, Jugs and increase. There's so much going on here that it's not even funny. You can even try and combine out the Mandible Claw with the Two-Handed Bulldog with the Tree of Woe. You could try triple purple or triple red if you really wanted to. I don't recommend it, but you could try it. It would still work either way. You would do the Two-Handed Bulldog, hit the Pulling Pile Driver, hit the Two-Handed Bulldog again, do your color submission just so they're submitted out. Stuff like that. There's so much stuff you can do with this that it's insane. But I do think Tree of Woe, Love Handle, and Sweet Chin Music is number 1. The Two-Handed Bulldog, the Pulling Pile Driver, and Sweet Chin Music is number 2. And then Mr. Sacco, Double Arm DDT, and Sweet Chin Music is number 3. In rankings, I would go S tier, or S plus, S, and then A. That's how I would rank that. That's my personal opinion. You guys tell me in the comments what your opinion is of Mick Foley. And if you have him, do you main him? Do you enjoy him? I have so many powerhouses at 6-star silver right now. It's not even funny. I could actually do an entire boss battle lineup with just powerhouses. I don't know what has happened in the last 6 months, but I went from not getting powerhouse at all to getting nothing but powerhouse tokens. Who knows? So all of that being said, I'm going to leave you the same way I always leave you. Life can be fun. You allow it to be. We'll see you in the next video.